Hello there. Happy Sunday. Sandy with Quilted Treasures and more here. And I wanted to show y'all last week's door hanger real quick. This was the Easter one that I did. And if you remember, when I left, I had everything painted except I did not have I had just the purple background. And so I was like, I want to do something with the background, but I'm not sure what. And I kept thinking about something that looked kind of like marble-ish, you know? And so I got to looking around and I found some tips on the marble. And so I did the marble. So I wanted to show y'all this one real quick before I move on to tonight's. So this is what last week's turned out to be like. Hi, Mr. Kyle and Miss Allison. Hello there, and happy Palm Sunday to both of y'all, and early happy Easter. Speaking of Easter, I will not be doing a live next Sunday since it is a holiday. I'm going to be spending it with my family, so no live next Sunday evening. But this is the Easter blessings door hanger that I was doing last week. So just wanted to show y'all that real quick. Now, moving on to tonight, because I know if you read my little description, you were thinking, what does that have to do with growing things? I didn't think about that when I stuck that up there. Anyway, tonight I'm doing a little tractor. And so I wanted to show y'all a new way that I have been doing my base coat. And so um, if you've seen me do my base coat in the past, you know that I just took a brush and I would use a brush and my white paint and just base coat it real quick. Well, I have come up with this little roller, and this has been really cool because it makes the base coating process so much quicker. So I'm going to base coat this real quick and just show y'all how I do this. And this is kind of cool because, oh my goodness, it's so much faster than doing the um, paintbrush way. And I just realized I do not have my apron on over my clothes, so I'll just have to be a little careful. Sometimes I get really like in a hurry with the roller, and so I have to watch because I have a tendency to sling paint. So I tend to try to remember to wear my um, apron whenever I am doing the base coating, but it comes out really smooth with my little roller here. And so I just wanted to show that real quick tip slash trick that I have learned. Don't worry if you're like, oh my gosh, she just got white paint all over her cover there. It's okay. That's why we have the covers on the table, so that way we can wipe them off or throw them away. And because I base coat so often, I have actually gotten to a point where all I do is just put my roller in a baggie and seal it up. It's ready to go the next time. It also saves money on rollers. So, all right, so we are going to set that off to the side. I'm going to do this with the blow dryer just for a few minutes, or my heat gun. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to get a wet wipe and clean up my mess here before it dries. So I hope you've had a good week and a good weekend. I know there's a lot of activities that have been going on. I've seen Easter egg hunts posted on Facebook. I've seen family gatherings posted on Facebook. I know next weekend we'll be busy with family gatherings and being involved. My daughter loves to sing, and so she's going to be taking part in a choir, singing in the choir next Sunday for Easter Sunday. So I'm excited. I actually have been having to rearrange some of my Sunday night times because of choir practice. So I've been excited about. She loves to sing, and uh, so I'm excited about her getting back into that groove. Okay, so I am going to start out with a gray color first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the door. And this is going to be a light gray. So it's called Gray Sky. And I'm just going to work on the door here because most of the time doors in these newer tractors are glass or plexiglass. I'm not real sure which. But anyway, we're going to paint it gray to have it a glass look. So that's what we're going to go for. And I am probably going to go with, let's go with this brush. Try not to get one that's too big, but also want to get one that covers pretty quickly. So let's see, what all has been happening around the crafting table this week? Well, we have gotten some things cut. So I've got orders ready to get started and orders that I am trying to finish up. I if you notice the picture of the drink huggers, I have actually kind of started something new. So I am delving into some new stuff. And actually, there'll be a post tomorrow that will be talking about some pre orders that has to do with Mother's Day. So you'll have to be watching for that, see what comes up. It's so funny how some of these things take shape in my world. You know what? I forgot to change screen again. I think I did this last week. I ended up forgetting how to change the screen to the main view where y'all could see what I was doing. It's so funny how some of these things have come up that I have gotten into. Door hangers, for instance. Everything started out with quilting. And quilting was actually one of those things that all I really wanted to do was learn to do a few things on the sewing machine. So, I could fix hems and repair some things. And my friend that I had asked to kind of show me some things with the sewing machine, she says, "Oh no, you're gonna make a quilt." I was like, "Wait, what? No, I just want to know how to fix things." She's like, "No, no, no, you're gonna love this." Well, she was right. She was right, and, that started this whole adventure. Started out with, quilts, and, so now I primarily do baby quilts. I love baby quilts. I have made some dog quilts. Um, that's kinda funny because it's almost like, you know, doing the baby quilt, but it's for a dog. So, I have done those. I have done my favorite thing probably besides the quilts, in quilting are table runners. I love doing table runners, and so that's a lot of fun. But when I started doing door hangers, I didn't go looking for door hangers. Door hangers kinda found me, and so I started painting, and I fell in love with the whole painting thing, and so that's been a whole 'nother world open to me, and then with, hang on one second, I gotta find a yellow. Yeah, I thought that was the right yellow, but that don't look like the right yellow. Why doesn't that look like the right yellow? I don't know. It's not that yellow. It is that yellow, isn't it? No? Okay, maybe this other yellow was the right yellow. Nope, that's not really it either. I had to find the right yellow for my tractor, y'all. Hmm. Dum de dum de dum de dum de dum. Okay, I know what I'll do. I'm gonna take this yellow and I'm going to lighten it up just a little bit. So I'm gonna splash a little white in it. Anyway, getting back to the whole story. I think I've shared this before. I know I have, but it's probably been a while. So hey, we'll share it again. But anyway, it started out, I wasn't looking for door hangers, and I just kind of happened into door hangers, and I fell in love with painting, and I have ended up doing all kinds of different things with that. And now with this new adventure of printing stuff, that wasn't really something I was, you know, woke up one morning and decided, hey, I'm going to do this. That ended up being something that just kind of came across, kind of fell into my lap. But uh, I'm going to have fun with it too. So the adventure has been interesting in my little hobby land that has turned into a business land, I guess you could say. So all I'm doing right now is I am working my way around the inside part of the tire. And I am just painting this yellow. And some of y'all are already thinking, oh, I know what color scheme she's going with. Yes, indeed. It is the time of year for farmers to plant, gardeners to plant. So my husband has been, potatoes have been in the ground, and is coming up on time to put some other things in the ground. So I said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do a tractor tonight and just kind of highlight all those folks who work hard to keep us fed with good things. Now then, where is my signature green for this one? Oh yeah, here we are. The key green color. Uh-oh, that's not good. We don't need the really hard paint to fall into where our main paint needs to go. One thing I did not get to do this week, oh, I need a bigger brush. And I am going to do it this week, y'all. I promise. I know I have said this more than once, and I have yet to actually post the pictures, but I have the gigantic birthday cake, the yard art. The birthday cake is finished, and I don't know what's going on with that brush. I may have to soak this brush. It's like painting with a, good grief. That was like painting with a stiff board. Sometimes, even though I rinse my brushes, sometimes they will get buildup and I can't get them to bend and be flexible. So when that happens, it is time to soak the brushes and get them revived a little. So that one, which is kind of one of my favorite ones to work with because it's a bigger brush, that one has got to be soaked for sure because it is definitely stiff as a board. So we will have to get that one, send it for a spa day, we'll say. Let it soak for a little while. All right, so you may be noticing, Sandy, you're coloring outside the lines. Yes, I am, but it's okay. The tires are going to be black, so any green that I get on those tires is going to be covered up. So I am not going to sweat getting green on the tires. And on that, I'm just kind of turning my brush at an angle and just going around. So, what kind of big plans do y'all have for Easter? Are there big Easter egg hunts planned? Are there big family dinners planned? Maybe you've already had your Easter egg hunt. Some families do it the week beforehand. And so that way everybody can kind of do their own thing on Easter. Some people wait for the Saturday before. I know there have been some places not far from my house that have had Easter egg hunts going on this weekend. I have seen pictures on Facebook of little ones enjoying time with the Easter bunny and with hunting eggs all over the place. I always enjoy seeing those. Always so cute. One thing I always like to ask around Easter is, what's the favorite Easter candy? Now, growing up for me, my favorite was always the chocolate bunny. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you, my husband was a little more particular. He wanted the peanut butter chocolate bunny. And so I'm like, I've never even heard of this. I finally, I loved when one chocolate company came out with the peanut butter chocolate covered eggs. And that was, oh, that was so fantastic in my book. But I had never heard of a bunny that was peanut butter on the inside. But undoubtedly, that was my husband's big thing when he was growing up, was to have a peanut butter chocolate covered bunny. And so I'm like, well, I didn't even know that one existed. All right, so I'm going to switch back to the smaller brush for a few minutes, and I am going to go back over my gray because some of that has soaked into the wood. And I'm using different wood on this one. I switch up sometimes. It depends on what depends on what the piece is going to be used for. Sometime Most of the time I use a wood called MDF, and then sometimes I'll use birch. And then for like the yard art, there's actually been a few types that I have used for that, just to make sure that they stand up, to being outdoors. Got to deliver a porch leaner this week. Don't know if you saw that one. It was kind of funny. I actually had quite a few people laugh at it, but it said, "Go away, go on, get." But I thought it was pretty funny, pretty cute. So I got that one delivered this week. I got some drink huggers made up for a historical society or historical foundation. I'm sorry, historical foundation. And they actually took those to that particular one group is working on restoring a high school in it's another county. It's not in Mobile County. And so they're working on restoring a high school that, of course, has not been used in quite a number of years. And so there was actually a big class reunion this weekend for a bunch of the ones that graduated from that particular high school. And so that was pretty cool because I got to do those and send them off a couple of hours away. I've got another porch cleaner to finish up this week. I've got a business tray that I will be working on getting to completion stage this week as well. I'll be showing off as I said, the little Mother's Day item will be popping up tomorrow. And so you'll get to see that. And then also, still got some slots for, well, I just started talking about that. So there's quite a few slots because I have quite a bit of time for paint party boxes for moms. So if you have a crafty mom and you're wondering, what in the world do I get this woman for Mother's Day? Well, I have paint party boxes. And what that is a paint party in a box. They get a door hanger and some paints, some brushes, um, stuff to make a ribbon, a bow. I'm sorry. They get ribbon and in order to make a bow for their door hanger, as well as a link to a video where I paint along with them so they can watch me paint it. So that's an option for Mother's Day. I've got another option for Mother's Day coming up tomorrow. So you'll have to wait until tomorrow to see what that other option is. And I'm going to be doing pre-orders on it. So there will be a window to pre-order. And then that will be all the opportunity for that item for this Mother's Day. So be watching tomorrow for that big introduction. All right, now the yellow turned out really good. I don't think I have to go over the yellow again at all. That's awesome. I love it when things do um, on the first take. Now I do have one little spot that I did not hit with paint right there, so that I do have to fix, but okay, both of them are good to go. All right, so this leaves me with my last little bit, which is the tires and the centers, and of course the front, which will be the grill. Actually, you know what? That needs to be green as well, but I'm going to come through. What I'm going to do, there's some little areas like in here that I'm actually going to put, I might do a little bit of gray too. Actually going to do black in between here to break up where that grill is. All right, I am going to need a smaller brush for this. So let's grab a round brush. That'll be easier to work with. Just to go down the front of this. And then I'm going to drag out the black because there's quite a bit of stuff that needs to be covered in black. Got tires and voids to fill. So we're going to try that real quick and then add a quick second coat to that. I was just thinking about the candy I used to get on Easter morning, and I was trying to think there was a marshmallow bunny, marshmallow bunnies. I think. Yeah, marshmallow bunnies that we used to get. They were small little bunnies, but they were chocolate covered and marshmallow. I like those too. I don't think I've seen those in quite some time. I'm about to slide out of my chair. This is what happens when you don't pull the chair up close enough to the table. And then, of course, there's always the Peeps. A lot of peep lovers, I know. I was never I was never interested in the Peeps. I think I always gave those to my dad. My daughter has some very picky, candy choices, and so needless to say, her Easter basket always comes with specific candy. So her Easter baskets are a little bit different than what I used to get when I was growing up. This is the same black paint I have used for a really long time, but for some reason it just looks, I don't know, it looks different tonight for some reason. Maybe it's the light. I rearranged last weekend. If you missed last week's live, I I had spent last Saturday working on the crafting table, and so the crafting table got cleaned up, which was awesome because it desperately needed it. Because my paint space, if you noticed, my camera uh, kept inching over and over and over, and you kept seeing more and more of the floor over here. That was why. All my paint stuff was slowly pushing me off the edge. It's funny how all those things kind of take on their own growing process. And if you don't get a handle on them, they tend to just take over the space. And you're thinking, look, you're supposed to be hanging out in your own space here, not encroaching upon other spaces. So my crafting table kept growing and growing, and I had to get it kind of reined back in. It's kind of like if you have a spot on your counter where, stuff gets dropped when you come in the house, keys, change, mail. There's times where if you don't just stop and get a handle on it, it becomes like this its own little monster. It just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. For those Star Trek fans, you might remember the oh, what were they called? They kept multiplying like crazy. They were fuzzy little critters. Tribbles? Was it tribbles? I don't remember. I grew up, I was a Star Trek fan. So, of course, there was a long time growing up that we, uh, and this is hard for like my child to fathom, that we didn't have cable. I was probably middle school before we got cable at my house. And so, there was only 3 or 4 channels to watch, and Star Trek was on one of those channels, so guess what I watched? In the afternoons, you watched cartoons, and then you had your round of shows that came on. Anyway, I got off on that. Boy, that was a rabbit trail. I got off on that talking about, my poor paint table, my crafting table, the paint supply is growing and taking over, which is kind of what happened on one particular episode with these little critters. I think they were called Tribbles. Tribbles? It's been a while since I've actually watched any of those shows. It's so funny how you can check out some of the, streaming services now and run across shows that you watched when you were a kid, which now, that's like we have one particular one that we service that we use, and, um, it's so funny because we get to watching shows, and you get to a real bad cliffhanger, and you're going, "Oh my gosh, what was that? Is it the season end of the season?" And you click on the next one, and, yeah, that was the end of the season. And it's so funny because now it's become this ongoing joke where, "Man, I'm glad we don't have to wait a whole year to find out what happened." 'Cause I remember how things used to end at the end of, spring or sometimes end of summer, and you have to wait all the way through Christmas and into the next year before you found out what happened. I'm like, "Oh, man, if we ever go back to watching some shows on just regular TV, we are not gonna know we're gonna lose our minds trying to get through a whole season waiting for the next round of shows to come out to answer the question left you were left with at the end of with the season finale. Streaming services have spoiled us so much. It's just like binge watching. Oh my goodness. There were shows when I was growing up that I probably would have never left the living room if I could have sat and binge watched some of those things. It's probably a good thing we didn't have that when I was younger. All right, so this is just a it's a space between the front of the tractor and what is the little grill. And so I am just painting it black just to give that shadow so that you can tell it's not really it's attached down here, but it's not attached up there. And then I have a handle here. So here's the little handle. You know what? I have a really bad habit of doing this. Instead of changing brushes, I will attempt to make the brush fit into the space that I need it to fit into, knowing that I'm probably going to not completely fit in that space or make a mess trying to get it to fit into that space. So I'm constantly telling my online art club, it's okay to change brushes. It's okay to mess up one more. And most of the time, what I'm doing is I'm telling me. I'm not really telling them, I'm telling me. It's all right to mess up another brush in order to cover the space that needs to be covered. Hey, if you're watching on the replay, so say, it may be 1 o'clock in the morning, maybe you can't sleep and you're laying there watching to see what Sandy painted earlier. Feel free to leave your candy choices in the comments. Just put hashtag replay, and that way I'll know that you watched it on the replay. That works too. So this is actually a piece of birch that I'm using for this one. This is not MDF, which is what I primarily do. Most of the door hanger um, pieces out of that I know are going to be, underneath a covering like a porch or overhang. And so a lot of times I will go ahead and I'll use the MDF. And the thing about the MDF is it's really smooth, and so the paint coats really well, and I don't have to worry about it being rough when I get through painting it. Now, sometimes birch, I like to use the birch because um, there's a couple of different thicknesses in the birch that you can't get. Well, you can get in. Well, no, you cannot get it in MDF. It's a different type of engineered wood that you use for outdoor purposes, and so it's not MDF. But sometimes you just need different sizes, so it's good to be, flexible with different types of wood and different applications and things that are going on. The 1/4 inch birch, um, it works well for some things, especially if it's going to be indoors. I don't use it a lot for door hangers. I did at one time. I did several, but they were so light, and I actually had a couple of people uh, talk to me about how light they were. That's 1/4 inch. That's not all the birch ones. Depending upon the thickness, depends upon whether it's too light. I have a few that I made out of another wood called Revply, and they are very, very light. And I have to watch when I put them on my door. They were some of the first door hangers that I ever did. And I have to be very careful because if the wind blows, they are light and they will just come right off of my door because they're so light and so easily picked up. So there's different style woods for, the different needs and the different areas, depending upon what the application is, where you're going to hang it, what where it's going to be, if it's going to be exposed to a lot of the elements. Yard art is something that is done out of something totally different. I need to post the picture of the yard art. I want to get it out where it's in the sun and you can see how sparkly it is. Oh, you know what? It's right around the corner. Hey, Charity. Charity. Are you still sitting right there? No? My daughter was sitting right around the corner. I don't think she is anymore. I think she left, went to her room or something. I was gonna get her to hand me the birthday cake, the yard art size birthday cake. I may go get it and show y'all anyway. All right, check out my little tractor friend here. Oh my gosh, he's gonna be so cute. I'm gonna add details to him and spruce him up. I'm gonna do my outline real quick before I wrap this up, but I am going to I'm gonna grab that birthday cake and show y'all a sneak peek so you get to see a little bit of it. It's really, really big, so it's not like it's gonna fit on my table, but I'll show it. I'll show as much as I can. I'm not real sure which way is gonna be the best way to show this, but we'll see what we can come up with. I may set it in my lap and back up and maybe put it where I'm in the bigger screen. Okay, where is my I'm just gonna grab my paint pen on this one. A lot of times I will use brush and paint, but I am just going to grab my paint pen on this one and I'm just going to go around and outline the door. Now this little guy, I've done the tractor as a door hanger. I've done the tractor as a nursery, hospital door announcement, nursery announcement, baby announcement. however you want to word that. So it has actually had several different applications and sizes. So I'm just working on outlining him. But the tractor is so cute. This would be cute for uh, kids' room as far as just putting on the door or putting on the wall if they have a farm kind of theme going on in their room. And just to answer the question, yes, the tractor could be done in pink for a girl. So I figure somebody will ask, hey, can you do a pink tractor? Well, yes, we can. We can do a pink tractor. I'm just going to come down the inside of that and straighten that up just a little bit. All right, now I am going to take the white marker, paint pen, and what I'm going to do is just put some streak marks on here so that way it looks like it is it's glass. All right, so I'll hold that up. You can see where I just put some white streaks on it just so it looks like it is glass. Now, there's a few more touches I want to do to this, but I have something else in mind, and so I may wait to do the absolute final after I do one more thing that I want to do to it. And I can't show that on my live because it's going to be personalized. So I can't show you that. I can't spoil the surprise for somebody. So that part I can't share with you, but I will post pictures once it is officially at its new home. So, all right, now here's what I'm going to do. I am going to bring up just my tractor for a second, and I'm going to get the birthday cake. So y'all hang on for just a second, and I'm going to see if I can get this birthday cake situated where y'all can see it. All right, so first I'm going to try it down here and see. Now this thing is covered in glitter, but of course it's not showing on the camera. Okay, so we're going to try this now. We're going to go back to split. Okay. All right. And I don't think the glitter is showing up there either. You know what? It is so funny. The things that I have done with shattered glass and with glitter, and I try to take pictures and post pictures and things like that. And and it really doesn't show up the way I want it to because the photos don't um it doesn't catch it. When this thing is out in the sun, oh my goodness. So what I may have to do is put it out in the sun and take a short little video clip and post the video clip. So here's my tractor for tonight, and I'm going to let it stop there because I'm going to do some fine details on it as far as personalizing. But I did want to show you the Yard Art happy birthday cake. So this one is, it like sticks out in your yard on someone's special day, and everybody riding through the neighborhood knows, oh, somebody there has a birthday. So, like I said, hopefully this week I can catch it on a sunny, bright day and I can catch that shimmer from the glitter that is on this. It's a clear glitter, so it's not like you see it. it doesn't take away from the details, but when it's out in the sunshine, it is just really sparkly looking, and so it's really cool. When I was adding the glitter to it before I put the last coat of seal coat on it, it was very sparkly and very shiny. I was like, "Ooh, pretty." So, anyway, hopefully I could get that to where you can see, but that's one thing I got accomplished this week, putting the final touches on the, the yard art piece. That's not the first yard art I've done. I did some at Christmas. And so I wanted to actually get some done for summer. 4th of July coming up. So I've got a few things that I'm going to be working on for 4th of July. And yes, they'll be covered in the sparkly, glittery stuff. Now, if you're wondering, well, does it come off? It is under a coat of polyurethane. And so every now and then I have one or two pieces come through. If you could have seen my back patio where I did the initial coating, it was my patio was pretty sparkly for a few days there until it rained. And between that and all the wind, it kind of got blown away. So, well, thank you so much for joining me this evening. And I will be posting pictures throughout the week of the different things I'm working on and finishing up. And of course, be watching tomorrow. I'll be posting a little um, pre-order item for Mother's Day. And like I said, don't forget, I have the paint party boxes available for Mother's Day as well. And of course, we'll talk more in the weeks ahead. Graduation's coming up soon. And so, of course, graduation keepsake ornaments are available. So you can always text me, message me, or email me with any questions that you might have. Have a great evening, and thanks so much for watching.